I'm coming for you.
And then have this in 7 or 8 seconds.
For this fight. I only trained probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight. I had to bury my best friend, and I dedicated this fight. I wasn't going to fight. I dedicated this fight to him. I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying now, Mike?
To fight me alone, I don't care whatever you say about me, good or bad, you gotta have heart to even get in the ring with me. From start of the round, I seen him all. He was too emotional. When I watched him, when he came in the ring, the first time I stepped in the ring, I looked at his face and I saw he was too emotional. I said, no way he's gonna win. I was telling my trainer, I said, he's gonna lose tonight.
I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. He can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him. Then once I see a chink in his armor, boom, and one of his eyes may move, and then I know I have him. He still looks at me with his piercing look, and as if he's not afraid, but he already made that mistake when he looked down for that 1/10 of a second.
Hello. Despite an inability to communicate himself in a high-pitched voice, we can all feel it. That aura of contempt, that instinctive readiness to kill. We feel a malice that could snap at any moment resonating in his eyes, yet there are no emotions. When Mike enters the arena, his mind is free associative, his mind is in flow, cocktailed with this savage primal instinctiveness to hurt, ferocious, calm. And the emotions we feel are not his, but our own. We feel angry for feeling this way, defensive, fear, for we sense the presence of a true monster, thus innately our own testosterone spikes. When Mike had Cus Yamato by his side, he truly was untouchable. Part 1. Psychological Warfare. Mike was a master of psychological warfare. He knew the negative impact of having emotions flood your mind. They tax your energy reserves, making you stiff through cortisol, stifling the fluid snap in your shoulders, reducing your overall force in punching power. But more so than that, they make you hesitant in an arena that has no patience, zero forgiveness for even a moment of idleness. He understood this intuitively and in brilliance sought to sow the seeds of fear, anger, emotion into the hearts of his opponents, and in his mad dog mind saw it in their eyes. He saw the widening of their eyelids, exposing the whites of their eyes, reflexive to high amounts of cortisol, high amounts of tension. He knew, he smelled it, and it further pumped him up, often making forceful sexual comments to his opponents, because the testosterone genuinely made him hard. His instinctive intent, testosterone, flow state, they all went up, while his opponents all went down. We talk so much about how brilliant this man's punching power was, but because he had trouble expressing himself in words, we almost missed his devastating psychology. This man in the arena was an absolute terror inside and out. Part 2. Punch philosophy, quotations from Mike. I always try to aim to the back of my opponent's head. Fantasize my punch going through them in and out of the back of their head. It sounds like a brutal sport, but it's just a technique, it's just an art. And when people hear you talk in this type of fashion, they think of you as some brutal monster. But it's all about the skill, the speed, the accuracy, and that's basically what I name my style after. People don't have the slightest idea of how hard it is to break somebody's jaw or eye socket. They think it's just the power. But it's the accuracy of the power. Every punch is thrown with bad intention and the speed of the devil. In football, there's a common technique taught to players to increase the overall power of their tackle. It's not to imagine your tackle hitting your opponent straight on, but to imagine your tackle going behind your opponent, that you're going through him. This has shown to increase the overall force of the tackle dramatically. Now, this could be because it reduces hesitation in the tackle, a placebo, or maybe something esoteric like the law of attraction. But one thing is for certain, Mike Tyson uses the same philosophy in his punches. He is imagining every single one of his punches going through his opponent's skull, which I'm certain is contributing to part of his power. On top of that, with a focus on speed and bad intention, he further ensures he holds nothing back with each blow. It truly is no wonder his opponents can't take it. It's no wonder one of his punches are equivalent to the average man swinging a baseball bat. Don't do this to your training partners. It's important not to kill each other as you help each other grow. Save it for the bag, the pads, and the arena. Part 3. Cus D'Amato.
He just kept saying these great things about us. So this guy, I didn't know this guy was queer. He just kept saying great things. Man, he said, man, you're a great fighter. He just kept saying, you're the greatest. You do splendid. You look great. You're looking better. He just kept giving me compliments about everything I did. So what's the wrong with this guy? I never had the slightest idea. He was just building up my confidence. Man, just totally intimidated fighting somebody in the ring. But I put myself together with the discipline I learned from Cus, and I went in the ring and I scored a 3rd round knockout.
Mike Tyson grew up in a very harsh environment. If boxing had not come into his life, he probably would have joined a gang to survive, inevitably dying as a pawn for some drug cartel. Despite what you think about the brutish nature of boxing, the brutish nature of Mike Tyson, it not only saved this man's life in a world that was full of racist fools, but it gave him one. Cus D'Amato was the cornerstone of all of that. Mike was initially emotionally fragile, but his coach, through decades of experience, knew one thing, that the most important part of any good fighter is self-confidence, their self-perception. And so as long as Mike Tyson was trying, he would always say, "You're doing great, Mike. Awesome work, Mike. You can do it, Mike." Even when his techniques were imperfect, even when he knew he would screw up the method, he would push him forward with positivity. And naturally, through practice, the perfection would come. When we look at Mike in his prime, he oozes in this aura of self-confidence, and we have Cus to thank for that. Cus, rest in peace. You were a good man who believed in a lost soul, and through it, forged a champion in a world that told him he'd be a failure. You may have bred a monster in the arena, but a soft father full of love outside of it. And for this lesson, I too am eternally grateful to you. Mike Tyson, through hard work, forged the body of a beast, but we must never neglect the mind, for that is where it all stems. Mind forges body, and through the body, you forge the world before you. As you think, so shall you become. Bruce Lee. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Cus, for this lesson. Thank you, everyone who watched this video. Please don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma. And until next time, peace.